Welcome to episode 1 of the Ankara Summer Dress series. So, in this episode, we are going to be drafting the pattern for the upper bodies. So, first, I have my paper here. I divided it into two. So, it's measuring my bust, is my biggest measurement divided by 4 plus extra 2 inches. So, I cut that out. I measured that out twice and then I cut out my paper like so that it's manageable, and I further divided it into two. I also ruled a line at the top that is half inches, and the next thing I am marking my half length measurement, my shoulder to nipple measurement, my shoulder to bust length, and my chest line measurement. I'm marking the same measurements on this other end so that I can get a straight line. So my chest measurement, I'm using 10 inches here. That is my bust divided by 6 plus 1.5, and then plus 1 inch that I used to slant my shoulder. For this type of dress, I will advise that you take out 1 to 2 inches away from your chest line so that you don't show extra skin on your armhole side. So after ruling out my lines, I am going to use my marker to make sure that they are bold enough for all of us to see. My chest line, my shoulder to nipple line, my shoulder to under bust, and then my shoulder to half length. If you're interested to know my exact measurements, I will leave them in the description box below. So next I am marking my shoulder measurement divided by 2. This is 7.5. I'm marking the same shoulder divided by 2 on my chest line, 7.5 inches. And then I'm going to rule a line to connect both of them together like so. Next, now I am marking my front neckline. So what we have been marking all the while has been the front pattern. So I'm marking 3 inches by 3 inches for the front neck. I connected it into this square, and I'm going to go ahead now and curve using my curved ruler. Next, now I on this shoulder line, I went down by 1 inch. I connected back to the neckline like so, and then from that 1 inch I got the middle and I marked it. Then I came in by half inch. I'm going to connect that back to the shoulder, and then next I will mark quarter of my bust measurement on my chest line. Quarter of my bust measurement is 11 inches, and then I will use my armhole curve now to curve the rest of my armhole. So next, now I am marking my bust span measurement. Starting from my bust point, I am marking 4.5 inches. That is my bust span measurement divided by 2. The actual bust span measurement is 9, divided by 2 is 4.5. So I mark that on my bust point and also on my half length. Next, I am marking 0.75 on both sides of that line. I will connect them back to the bust point like so. After that, I will go ahead now and mark my round measurement. So for my half length round, I am working with 36 inches. So we're going to mark quarter of that, which is 9 inches. But what I'm doing is I am not including the dart in my measurement. So I measure from here to the first dart leg, move my tape over, ignoring the dart completely, and then I continue from the next dart leg until I get to my 9 inches, and then I mark. I'm going to connect that to the bust point like so. Next, now I am going to mark my bust dart. So bust dart here is the difference between my front and my back half length. So in my case, I have 3 inches, and the 3 inches fell exactly on my under bust line. So I connected that back into a slant to the nipple to nipple point. Now I've turned my paper this way. We're going to mark the back first before we continue. So for the back, I am also marking chest line of 10 inches, and then half length for the back, 16.5 inches. That is 3 inches shorter than the front half length. Just like I did the front, I came out to mark it on this other side also, so I can get a straight line. I'm using my pencil now to connect all the points together, and I'll also use my marker to make it bolder. I should have used the pencil only, but I needed to be sure that it's bold enough. So next I am marking half of my shoulder measurement, which is 7.5 inches at the top and also on the chest line, and I'm connecting like so. For the back neckline, I am marking 3 inches width and then 1 inch depth. I will also connect it like so and then use my curved ruler to curve it. Next, now I came down by 1 inch on the armhole line. I'm going to connect back to the neck width like so, and then measure down, get the middle, come in by half inch, connect back to the shoulder, then mark quarter of my bust measurement, and then use my armhole curve to curve the rest of the armhole. Next, now I am marking the dart 4.5 all the way like so. I will connect into a straight line and then mark 0.75 inches on both sides. You'll notice that there is no zipper allowance for this back piece. That's because there's no zip on this dress. So after marking the dart, we are going back to the front to modify this pattern now into a bustier. So first things first, I'm going to mark the actual neck depth that I will be using, which is 7 inches. So from this starting line, I will mark 7 inches down, and I will connect into a straight line like so. And then on the shoulder, I will divide that measurement into two and then connect it back to the bust point. After which we are going to tighten the over bust. So on that line, I will mark 0.75 on both sides, and I'll connect back to the bust point. Next, now we are going to mark the neck width. So I measured to the first dart leg and then I moved my tape to the other side. I marked 5 inches. You're supposed to take out 2 inches from your shoulder width measurement. This is because if you leave it as it is, the straps are going to be falling off your shoulder. So whatever your shoulder measurement is, take out 2 inches and mark it as your neck width. So on this under bust line, you're going to measure the quarter of your under bust measurement. So what I did is measure and leave out the dart point, and then I marked. So whatever I have left there, I am going to place it starting from this outer dart leg and mark it. I had 1 inch, so I marked the 1 inch there. I'm going to use my curve now to make a curve to the bust point like so. After which I will connect from down the bust line down to the waistline. You can connect straight or you can connect in the slant like I did. So next, now it is time to cut. I'm cutting this out so I have room to fold in my bust dart. For the back piece, we are going to leave it as it is. Next, now I slashed the dart open, and I'm going to fold this bust dart onto the bust point line like so. Then use my tape, my cello tape or masking tape, to tape it down in this manner. After which you notice that it's no longer equal, the lines on the sides are not equal, so we're going to rule that out so that it covers for the shortage that is there. So now our front and back half length are the same. So we're going to go ahead now and cut out the rest of the upper bodies. I wanted to label it center front and side front, and then it's time to cut. So like I mentioned earlier, for the armhole, or the chest line, you need to make it shorter because it might show more skin than you're willing to show, except you don't mind. So instead of 10 inches like I used here, I will use like 8, but I'd already used 10 inches here, although it's not bad, but I will not use 10 inches next time for a design like this. I'll rather use 9.5 or 8 inches. So this is it for the front. This bust point is pointy, so we're going to curve that out so we don't have pointy bustier after. So after blending that out, I'm going to cut it like so. And then we're going to go ahead now to cut out the back piece. So if you are reducing your chest line for the front, you're going to be doing the same for the back. So I'm adding extra paper to the back. You can do this while cutting on fabric, but I did it here on paper first. I added a paper that's about 5 inches wide. We need extra for the back piece because there's no zipper. We're going to use elastic to make it fit. So the more allowance at the back, the better. We're also not going to take out the dart for the back. So this is it for episode 1.